These grades are a critical part of keeping problem contractors away from public building projects. Not only can cities and towns check them, but the state can use the grades to take away a company's certification, meaning no more public contracts. But we found this safeguard has broken down, and shoddy contractors keep getting our tax dollars. One official says they're getting away with it by blackmailing our cities and towns.
So it's a beautiful new facility.
Ron Chernisky of Southbridge is talking about the town's new Department of Public Works garage. He was a town councilor back when the project started and remembers the research that went into making sure the low bidder, a Connecticut company called Barr Incorporated, was up to the job.
We did our due diligence and our research, and we found that there were no reported instances that we could find that disqualified Barr Inc.
But the town's excitement turned to disappointment as costs ballooned and delays piled up.
Somewhere along the line, that things went south. Change requests, these types of things, and the project costs were starting to rise.
Ultimately, the project was nearly 2 years overdue and more than $1 million over budget. In a lawsuit, Barr blamed the town for the overruns and delays. That lawsuit was settled out of court. Looking back, Chernisky wishes town officials never hired Barr to begin with.
There must be a process that will protect the taxpayers from poor workmanship, change orders, and mandated overruns that were never in the proposal to begin with.
Actually, there is a process that's supposed to weed out problem contractors. It starts with the local officials who hire them. Cities and towns grade contractors after large public projects are completed. 3 failing scores within 5 years, and the contractor loses state certification, which is needed to win future public contracts. But can those grades be trusted? Massachusetts Inspector General Gregory Sullivan says no.
This is the absolute most expensive form of grade inflation you can imagine. The contractors who get passing grades for failing projects are then allowed to go on and do the same thing across town, across the state.
Unsuspecting communities think they're getting a good contractor?
Yeah, to an unsuspecting community, they go in, they see the report cards of their prior town, and everything looks fine.
So how do contractors get passing grades they don't deserve? In some cases, Sullivan says, by strong-arming the cities and towns that are grading them.
Some of the shoddy contractors have basically held up government officials by stopping the work and using a form of like blackmail and coercion in effect, by saying, if you don't give us a good score, we won't finish the work. Let's just settle. We'll do the punch list. In fact, we'll do some more work for you. Give us a high score.
These inflated scores are given out so often, Sullivan calls them the best-kept secret in public construction. And the cost, he says, is enormous.
I would estimate that this problem has probably cost the taxpayers more than $100 million over the last 10 years, counting all municipal and state contracts. I feel very confident to say that amount.
Sullivan would not comment on specific projects, but a document obtained by Fox Undercover shows that Barr, the same company that rebuilt Southbridge's DPW yard, actually negotiated for a higher grade after building a new police headquarters for the town of Grafton. In this email, the architect says Barr agreed to drop about $20,000 in change order claims at the end of the project, but only if the town agreed to give him a 90 DCAM rating, to which the town agreed. Officials at DCAM, the state's Division of Capital Asset Management, say they're reviewing that high score. Barr's president denies negotiating grades on any project, and his attorney would not comment on the email. Another Barr report card is under review by DCAM. Dartmouth gave the company a score of 89 for its work on the town's new police station. That high score came despite this letter by the town's attorney, listing 9 pages of complaints about Barr's work, including excavation done with unlicensed operators, a foundation wall poured 3.5 inches out of place, and a front entrance vestibule 11 inches too deep. Barr's president declined to go on camera. As for the letter, he says none of it's true. It's inaccurate, misstated information. In Falmouth, another contractor was given a new higher score after a lawsuit was settled with the town. Falmouth originally gave Methuen Construction a failing grade of 51 for its construction of a new wastewater treatment plant. But more than a year later, that score was revised to a passing grade of 80. Why the change? You won't find out from Falmouth. The town manager told Fox Undercover, What I'm allowed to state is Methuen and Falmouth have amicably resolved their differences and that Falmouth and Methuen will have no further comments on the matter. Methuen Construction says the new score was not negotiated, but that the old one was based on incomplete information. The company says the plant it built is operating better than anticipated, and its new score should actually be even higher. In Southbridge, the town has yet to submit its final evaluation of Barr's work on the DPW building. Chernisky says if he were still on the town council, he'd give Barr a low score. So the next community that thinks about hiring the company will know the truth.
The people who contract with a bad contractor need to speak up. They need to decide, okay, maybe it's going to cost us a little more to fight the legal fight, or more time to fight the legal fight. But we actually can get a bad contractor out of the way and protect ourselves as taxpayers, because it costs each and every one of us.
DCAM decertified only 3 contractors last year because of failing grades. That's out of about 1,200 certified contracting firms. The agency points out that cities and towns are responsible for providing accurate grades, but the Inspector General wants DCAM to do more. Just last month, at the Inspector General's suggestion, the agency began requiring local officials to certify the grades they gave weren't negotiated or coerced. Do you have an idea for a Fox Undercover investigation? Give us a call. 1-800-TV-FOX-25. I'm Mike Bodette for Fox Undercover.